Hi, everybody. This is Dr. C with a screen recording of our course website. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of walk us through the course website, make sure that everybody knows what's going on, what to expect, and so on and so forth. So let's go and get started with that. Um, First off, when you click on the home, if you log in, you click on home, I've set up the course website so it'll take you instantly to the syllabus for the course. Pretty soon, by the time this goes live, you'll see, I should start off explaining this real fast. The course currently is not published. This is so I can go ahead and finish this content and place it on the course and make sure everything's up to snuff and brushed up and looking really good before I go ahead and make the course active so you can take a look at it. But as soon as everything is done, I'll click publish. The course will be available to you, and this will no longer be showing, right? Publish will be active. The other thing is that there's this little spectacle thing up here with student view, and this basically is, I'll click it so I can show it to you. This is basically, this is the way that we have of approximating student view or seeing the course website from the perspective of a student. As you can see, certain things have disappeared. I'll go ahead and leave student view real fast so you can see the difference between the two. You can see this has got a lot more stuff, including some things with little eyes that have a slash through them, meaning that they are not visible to students, but they're visible to me. So you might see me every once in a while going into student view to explain things and show you things from the student perspective. I don't want you to be confused by what I'm doing when I do that, so I thought I'd go ahead and explain it to you now. So right now the course is unpublished, so I can go ahead and finish up these videos and polish things up before I'm making it active for you to go through it. And student view is the way I have of approximating seeing the course website from your perspective as a student, okay? So I'm going to go through the syllabus, including the course content, objectives, policies, and assignment. And the course calendar that closes the syllabus, I'll page down to so you can see what I'm talking about. Here's our course calendar, which is quite different than the calendar that exists in Canvas. Canvas's calendar is different than our course calendar. And I'll go over that in a little more detail just momentarily, right? So again, welcome to our course. I strongly encourage you to go through the syllabus, review our course overview, our course policies, our course procedures, and to let me know about anything you have any questions about before the term starts, preferably, but no later than the end of week 1, right? So right now you can see that the office hours listed on the syllabus. This link, or there will be a link here soon where you can just click on the link that you see here to get to my office hours. It'll take you it'll open up Zoom and you'll be able to participate in my office hours that way. My office hours, I'll be in my office, well, pandemic willing, really. I'll be in my office holding office hours, but they will be held via Zoom because my office is too small and unventilated for me to meet with students during a pandemic in that office for office hours. So if I need to meet with you in person, we can always make arrangements during office hours, especially if I'm on campus for office hours, to maybe meet in a place that's um, uh, bigger and better ventilated. But as of now, please note that my office hours are scheduled to take place on Zoom, 11 o'clock to 12:30, Tuesday and Thursdays. Right? Email address is up here. Again, make sure that you review all of this. I'm not going to go ahead and read all the stuff, as you guys are adults and you can read through this material and let me know if you have questions about it afterward. But I just want to stress to you how important it is that you read everything that you see in this syllabus and let me know if you have any questions about anything that you see here ASAP, so I can go ahead and clarify things for you as soon as possible. Let's see. Of course, objectives, learning outcomes. I'll make sure I read through these and everyone's clear on what they see. Before I head down, actually, I want to stop. Sorry if I'm a little scattered. I want to make sure that everyone is aware of the required textbooks for this course. This book is required for the course. This book is required for the course. Both are available to you for free on the course website. The one that you have to purchase for this course is The Craft of Research, the 4th edition, which is available to you at the UO Duck store. We'll be using electronic handbooks to handle the grammar component of this course. Every writing course, composition course you take will tend to feature a group of readings that are shared readings, and then it'll also have instructional material, typically in the form of a grammar handbook. These days, we've shied away from using physical / expensive print versions of handbooks, especially since we can use, there's so many really great resources available to us online to help us help our students with any kind of grammatical, mechanical, syntactical problems that they have in their work. You see a list of these handbooks that we'll be using for this course, but there are other resources that I do include in my courses. But this is a good sort of example of how I'm handling the sort of grammar handbook component of this writing class. Our learning outcomes. In Writing 123, students can expect to deepen their understanding of Writing 121 outcomes by engaging in a critically reflective academic research writing process. Students will frame and assess research questions in a disciplined, appropriate manner, remaining open to exploration throughout the process. They will critically evaluate and synthesize multiple topic and genre-appropriate sources and articulate their findings in a genre-appropriate manner. They will develop audience awareness through a process of collaborative review and revision of the writing based on the feedback of their peers and their instructor. They will describe and practice a critical research process, including finding and gaining familiarity with scholarly sources. And finally, students will identify and critically apply style conventions for writing in an academic context. That last little bit refers to the fact that this course uses MLA format, right? Not just for citation and documentation, but across the document itself. MLA format's not just citation and documentation conventions. It actually refers to a bunch of different things, from where your title's supposed to be, what's supposed to be on your first page, in the first page header, how to handle page numbering, all those kinds of things. We're working on that all term. Small issues, relatively speaking, but important issues, right? On the course details, policies, and procedures, please review all of these course details, policies, and procedures. The participation policy is really important. Late work policy is really important. Academic honesty, really important. Incomplete is really important. Make sure you review these policies and let me know of any questions or concerns that you have. Some details on your writing assignments down here. There are two major assignments. Both of them are argumentative essays in this course. Basically, your first essay in this course will set the stage for the second essay that you write for this course. And there are these additional writing assignments that lead up to the creation and construction and revision of those two essays. The two essays and the writing assignments that feed into each essay. Well, let me start over for just a second. Each essay, along with the assignments that lead up to the essay, constitute an essay cycle. There are two essay cycles in this course. So there are these assignments that lead up to the first essay, then there are these assignments that lead up to the second essay. The first essay also helps lead up to the second essay. So essentially you have two interconnected essay cycles in this course. This will make sense as we move throughout the rest of the term. But what this, and for people who do this kind of work, this kind of writing, or any kind of advanced writing, they're accustomed to doing lots of writing leading up to the writing project that they're working on, the ultimate project that they're working on. Students often don't work that way, and this course will hopefully revise your process so that you have a better sense of how to use writing to help produce a piece of writing that you're working on. Use writing to, for instance, with your first essay cycle in this course, you will be engaging in smaller assignments leading up to that essay that require you to be able to summarize, paraphrase, to pull quotations and to integrate them into your own writing, to synthesize sources, or to be able to assess the ways in which the arguments intersect, speak to one another, or overlap. All those things, you'll be doing all those things before you actually produce that essay for that cycle. So it's little assignments help you practice things, and often they're low stakes or lower stakes assignments help you practice things that are really important for the creation of that first essay cycle. And the first essay cycle is really a warm-up for the second essay cycle, which has some additional and more detailed preliminary assignments building up to that final essay number 2. So I hope that makes sense. If not, let me know. But that's basically a breakdown of what you see here. Expectations per writing and formatting of assignments. It's an English department course. Your writing will be held to the highest standards of college level prose. Some things you won't be able to control, like when you submit your work as discussion forum posts as opposed to attached documents. Some assignments require you to submit your assignment, your work in as a discussion forum post, whereas other assignments require you to submit it as um, an attached file, right? When you're submitting as posts, it's, rest assured that I know that there's only so much you can do to format the work that I see when you submit it. So don't freak out too much about that. I should definitely be more concerned about assignments where you have to submit them as an attached file. There you have much more control over formatting, etc. Right? So as you will see as we move through the term, the more significant and more heavily weighted assignments in this course in particular, the essays at the end of each cycle, those are the assignments where you'll have to submit them as file attachments, right? The other assignments leading up to them, often you'll see that they're set up to make things a little easier on you. They're set up so you'll be submitting them as discussion forum posts. When you're submitting things that are, as I just stated, anything that you're submitting that's a file, an attached file, I'll be paying much more close attention to the way that those things are formatted, because you have much more control over the formatting of those assignments, right? See the grading breakdown here. Please review it. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns about it. You'll see, for instance, that participation is important in this class. You have a portfolio. We'll be talking about that more toward the end of the term. You have these reflective essays. Then the 10-item annotated bibliography, which is part of the second essay cycle. Peer reviews. This is where students often kind of let things slip a little bit. But peer reviews, when you take them all together, constitute 6% of your grade in this course. Slacking off on peer reviews is a great way to take, like an A minus and kind of shoot yourself in the foot a little bit and have it be a B+ to a standard B, simply by not doing a peer review. So make sure that, when you're assigned peer reviews in this course, number one, turn in the drafts for peer review, make sure they're in on time, otherwise they won't be able to participate in the peer review process. And number two, make sure that you submit your peer reviews on time. It's a great and easy way to make sure that you have, that you earn all 6 of these points out of 100, right? Other assignments: formal proposal, synthesis essay, reading analyses. And then you'll see the 2 essays are the most significantly / heavily weighted assignments in this course at 25% each. Access for students with disabilities. By the way, before I finish that conversation about the grading breakdown, if you have any questions about anything you see here, please let me know. I've set up the course website to make the grading process and the grading breakdown and the weighting of assignments and all that stuff is pretty much transparent as possible. But if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll do my best to answer those questions for you. Under access for students with disabilities, and make sure I read this and everyone's clear about this. The University of Oregon is working to create inclusive learning environments. Please notify me in week 1 or by the end of week 1, if there are aspects of the instruction or design of this course that result in disability-related barriers to your participation. You may also wish to contact the Accessible Education Center in 164 Oregon Hall or 541-346-1155 or uoaec@uoregon.edu. And also for the observance of religious holidays, also quite important. Students who observe their religious holidays at times when academic requirements conflict with those observations must inform me in advance of the holiday. Students are responsible for making up missed work according to a schedule that we determine or we work out together. And you see your course calendar, which lays things out for you. It's a pretty, what I want to point out that what we've been looking at is should be really familiar to those of you that have taken in-person courses before. This is a standard syllabus. It's just kind of, modernizing the fact that it's online and it includes lots of links to things that you can click on, including links to readings that are assigned down here or that take place according to a schedule laid out in the course calendar. It's a pretty standard fare for syllabi, right? So you page down here, you'll see specific dates, specific deadlines, specific assignments, specific readings, so on and so forth, right? Where this course website differs a lot from what you may have seen before is that there's also this modules link over here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on student view, and you'll see that here we are. Here's our syllabus. And here's the modules link. This is what you'd see when you sign into the course. You click onto the modules link, and for those of you that have taken online courses before, this will look really, really familiar. For those of you that have not, I'll try to explain things as clearly as I can here. Basically, this is a breakdown of the course that allows you to just sort of jump to the sections of the class that you're working on or that you're engaged in at the moment. So here's everything that we're doing in week one. There's an overview for week one. There's a checklist for week one. Here are the relevant resources for week one and follow-up activities for week one and homework for week one, right? So you can, if you want to approach this course on sort of like a week by week basis and you don't want to always go to the syllabus, you can always go to the modules section of the course and work your way from the interview to the checklist and on down to your responsibilities for that particular week, right? There's week two, there's week three. So you can see I've laid out the course to make it easy for those of you that are as easy as I can imagine laying it out and doing so. I've tried to make it as simple as possible for those of you, and approachable as possible for those of you that have taken standard courses and not online courses. But I've also tried to lay it out and make it accessible and easy and approachable and so on and so forth for those of you that have experience with online courses and are accustomed to this kind of module layout. So again, you can access everything that you see here. You can also access in the syllabus for the course. This is just another way of laying out the information to make it easier for you to access it, to make it more readily approachable and sort of digestible for students. I suggest using a mixture of both. Sometimes you want to log in and just take a quick look at what your responsibilities are. So you can page down here and see what the syllabus says about, let's say, week 4, right? This is what we're doing in week 4. There's all the stuff you're supposed to do, kind of a detailed explanation of it. Or you can go to the modules and you can click on that and you can go down to week 4 and you can click on the overview. The overview tells you what's going on for week 4, right? What we're focusing on. Here's the checklist for week 4. And you'll see that these overviews and checklists usually include links that you can click on to get directly from the overview or the checklist to the activity or the assignment or the reading or whatever it is that you're supposed to do for that particular week, right? Here's a paragraphing activity that you'll be doing in week 4. Down here. And here's a video lecture that I've recorded for you for week 4. And here is the essay 1.1 that you'll be working on in week 4, and then we've gone on to week 5. So you can see how the course is laid out. So to make it as easy as possible for you to take this class, regardless of whether you're accustomed to taking sort of like traditional in-person classes that tend to feature paper syllabi or online syllabi that are pretty straightforward and look a lot like what you're looking at right now, or if you're more accustomed to taking online courses that use modules, here are your modules. Right? I kind of want to go through just very, very quickly. I'm going to sign out a student view to make this a little easier to understand. I mentioned that there's a difference between this calendar, which basically walks you through, the course. It's like a standard course calendar that you see in a syllabus, versus Canvas's calendar. Now, one thing that I will suggest that you do immediately, and I'll use myself as an example, even though it makes things a little complicated. You see me unchecking these boxes here. Any of these boxes that are checked, basically, if you have a class that you're taking and you check the box for that class, then all the events from that class will populate your calendar. See, this is for one of the classes I'm teaching currently. You can see, because I clicked on this creative writing class right here, suddenly you see all of the things that are scheduled for that class, all the activities that are scheduled for that class suddenly appear in your calendar. So the first thing you're going to need to do is make sure that you have clicked on the box for our class. Let me find our class so I can go ahead and do it. Here's our class. So I've just clicked on the box for our class. You'll see all these things popping up in Canvas's calendar. I do want to warn you that the assignments and the activities that we are doing in this class should all show up in Canvas's calendar. But the readings that are scheduled, anything that assigned like a reading that I assigned, it's not going to show up in Canvas's calendar. So you can't really just use Canvas's calendar and forget looking at the course calendar at the end of our syllabus or the module section of our of our course website, because there are lots of things that you have to do for the course that won't automatically show up in Canvas's calendar. This is a great way to keep track of your assignments, but it's not the best way, obviously, to keep track of readings that you have to do for a class or other things that you have to do that aren't necessarily uh, that we can't put into an assignment. So there are certain things, for instance, in this class, like at one point you'll need to start a conversation with people in a group that you create based on shared research interests and communicate with them, and that will be part of your participation score in this class. But there's no way for me to include that in this Canvas calendar. So just keep in mind, this Canvas calendar is a great way to make sure that you don't miss any assignments, you don't miss any things that you're supposed to do, any responsibilities that you're supposed to do. But you also still need to go to the course website and make sure, let's see, courses, here's our course here. You also still need to make sure you go to the course website and keep track of things in the course calendar and or in the module section, right? Because there are going to be things that you're responsible for, peer reviews, for instance, those kinds of things. I don't believe peer reviews show up in Canvas's calendar. Just because you're leaning on Canvas's calendar and you neglect to check the course calendar or go to the module section of the course website, that will not serve as an excuse for you missing assignments or turning in anything late for this, in this course. I just want to make sure everyone's clear on that. And yeah. Uh, So that's that conversation. Um, just a couple of best practices I want to go over very quickly with using our Canvas website. Go back to student view. Just get really, try to dig through here as much as possible. Get really comfortable with the way that this is laid out, and get really comfortable with the way that the modules are laid out. You can even check on, you know, ev- as the term progresses. I always suggest to students that they keep track of their grades. I've set things up to make it as easy as possible for you to keep track of your grades as the term progresses. So, this is a great tool too. The library research help tool that you see here. We will be using this later in the term, but it's not a bad idea for you to go ahead and just kind of familiarize yourself with it at this early point in the term. Um, yeah, I think that's just about it for right now. Um, Let me know if you have any questions or concerns, and I'll do my best to help you out. But this is sort of the walkthrough of our course website that I wanted to engage with today to make sure everyone's on the on the same page, right? Get it? Web page, ha ha ha. Another thing I wanted to point out is you'll see this list of to-dos over here. That it's another really great way to keep, it's little reminders. You've got to do this, you've got to do that. This is coming up, right? These little reminders also help students keep track of their work and help ensure that they don't fall behind. I will say this just very quickly, like with online courses in particular, staying on top of your work, which this course website is being made available to you more than 2 weeks before the beginning of the term. So you feel free to dive in and start your work, right? If you want to, you can go ahead and get a jump start on it. But the fact that I'm making this course website early, available to you so early, and doing everything I can possibly think of to help y'all go ahead and get started is, not accidental. I want y'all to succeed in this course, and I know that the sooner that folks get comfortable in online classes, the better they tend to do in online classes. So I really encourage you to just, every once in a while over the next couple of weeks, check into the class and just dig around and see if there's anything you have any questions about. Please let me know. I'll do my best to answer those questions for you before the term starts. It's always best. If you get those questions during week one, no big deal. But as soon as I can get your questions answered, if I can do that before the term starts, it's even better. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns, and I'll do my best to help you out. I'm sure I'll have more for you quite soon. Thanks again.